Good evening. Welcome to the March work session, City of Miami, City of Hiram. City of Hiram, okay. I'd like to welcome back Scott, our videographer. He came back from his surgery, and he's just happy to be here. And Mr. Palmer, could you lead us in the invocation and pledge?
Amen.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay. Sandra, front and center.
Our new city clerk, deputies.
I need you to raise your right hand. The oath of office for our deputy city clerk. Do you, Sandra Touchstone, solemnly swear that you will faithfully discharge the duties devolved upon you as deputy city clerk of the city of Hiram, Georgia? And that you will faithfully execute and enforce the laws of the city of Hiram to the best of your ability, skill, and knowledge, and that you will do all in your power to promote the general welfare of the inhabitants of the city of Hiram and common interest thereto? Do you, Sandra Touchstone, swear that you are not the holder of any unaccounted for public money to this state or any political subdivision thereof, and further swear that you are not the holder of any office or trust under the government of the United States, any other state, or any foreign state which you are by law of the state of Georgia prohibited from holding. Further swear that you are otherwise qualified to hold office of Deputy City Clerk for the City of Hiram, Paulding County, Georgia, according to the Constitution and laws of Georgia. Further swear that you will support the Constitution of the United States and of this state. Do you, Sandra Touchstone, a citizen of Cobb County and being an employee of the City of Hiram, Paulding County, Georgia, and the recipient of public funds for services rendered, as such, solemnly swear and affirm that you will support the Constitution of the United States and the Constitution of Georgia and the Charter of the City of Hiram? Welcome aboard.
I just want to make sure she doesn't want to do quickly. Sorry.
All right. And then you're checking to make sure you can see all of their faces. All right. So, 1, 2, 3.
Sorry.
All right. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Thank you guys.
Just want to make the announcement that Council Member Doris Devi is not here tonight. Her mother-in-law has passed away, and she is up in Pittsburgh with her husband, and her mother-in-law's funeral is tomorrow. Mr. Griffin, you have a presentation.
Good evening, Mayor, City Council, City officials. Thank you for your time. You can see that on the screen. My name is Tyrone Griffin. I'm president of the Hiram Rosenwald Museum, and I'm also going to be president of the new reinstated Old Town Hiram Business Association. And today, I just wanted to give you an idea of what we're going to be doing. Let's see if this is going to work. What do I have to aim? Here we go. Okay, thank you. Okay. So I want to really just talk about the 4 pillars of what we are planning to do. The first one is the structure. It's going to be run by local businesses and business leaders. One thing, we're going to hire a professional project and event planner. Last time we did this, we tried to do everything ourselves, and it just got to be too much. So one of the things that we stipulated is if we reinstate is that we would hire somebody to actually put on the events, not just the events, but also our social media pages and things like that. And also, we're going to be doing detailed financial reports, because there's hotel, motel money, and then there's money that will come from other sources. And there are certain stipulations on what you can use the hotel, motel money for. So we want to make sure that we're in line with what we can and can't do. But also, when we host events, we'll raise money through those and through memberships, so that we'll be able to do other things that will augment the tourism dollars that the hotel, motel tax will provide. Next is membership. Again, we want to attract membership for all businesses in Hiram. The picture we have up there is the cotton gin, which is way up the hill. One of the challenges we had before was that we tried to do everything here, and it was hard to attract businesses that weren't located downtown, because they said, well, there's nothing you can do for us. You know, we can't have an event up at the top of the hill. But what we're trying to do is represent all of Hiram, everybody down 278 and everywhere, with promotions of their events. How are we going to do that? The promotion is going to be through billboards, movie ads, local newspapers, social media, and local podcasts. As Chief Turner tells us almost every month, 1.8 million cars come through Hiram every month. And it's not feasible for all the businesses in Hiram to go and spend $2,000 or $4,000 on a billboard. So that's what we're going to do, is observe those billboards and be able to promote the businesses in Hiram. And maybe have a billboard that says, here's the events this month, and here's all the businesses that are doing something special this month. But it'll be tied to our website where you can go and get more information, because we don't want people to try to read the whole billboard while they're driving. But we want to make sure that our website is in sync with the billboard, so that when we say, here are the events coming up this month or this quarter, then you go to the website and you can see all the details about what's going to be happening. And finally, here's just some of the events that we have done in the past. We did the Old Town Hiram Days, we did car shows, gave away t-shirts, swag, that kind of thing. But we can raise money through doing these types of events and charging vendor fees. So we can keep those things free for the city. So that's where we're looking to create that other pot of money, so to speak. But that money will offset, or will work in, not offset, but it will work in conjunction with the hotel motel tax money, which will be spent on specific items. That was it. That was the presentation. Any questions of what we're trying to do, or what we're planning to do over the next, with the new association? Was that good, really?
Well, I think it was amazing. It was amazing.
Thank you.
Because I know the benefit that it's going to bring to our city and our business leaders, our businesses. I love the fact of the billboards, which would give you a manner of getting more members to join, and they benefit, and if the businesses benefit, our city benefits. So it's a great win-win situation. So thank you for presenting this to us.
Thank you, Tyrone.
No problem. Well, again, like I said, thank you. I think before the focus was more so on downtown, and what we're trying to do is expand that focus to all of Hiram. Thank you for your time.
Thank you, sir.
Yep. Discuss Board of Ethics members.
we have anybody here?
Those are for you guys to appoint.
So it's time to appoint them again.
Yeah. Just reappoint our current,
I think we normally, we normally talk to them and ask them if they still want to sit up in those times, you know, sometimes things might have changed in their everyday activity, but I can't even, it's been so long ago now, I can't even remember who's all on it. Yeah, because when you get old, Frank, I know you don't know that about it.
I don't remember
Now,
about
just
it
a
over
heads
the
up,
gray
if
hairs.
you all reviewed your packet, you'll see that Mr. Coleman, he's previously served, but he's not eligible to serve again until May 1 of
Oh, because of 2
2025.
years.
And Angela Hartfield is not eligible until May 1 of 2027.
You know, for some reason, I can't find my packet from this.
Did you log into the board portal?
Mhm.
Board portal?
The new portal.
That's where that packets are.
I didn't allow, I just went to where I normally go at, in my inbox. It's not there, huh?
We moved away from email, it's on the board portal now.
So I accessed my packet from the portal, however, I don't have the page for the members of the ethics, the present ethic members.
And so you have your packet or you don't?
I do, I printed it out, but I don't have anything for that.
Page 2, packet. If you look under background, currently serving are Angela Hartsfield, Vivian Smith, and John Moise. Those are
Yeah.
the current members.
I think that's the only page that I'm missing. I do have section 2-59 Board of Ethics members,
That's
but
page 3, that's the next one. Basically, the mayor appoints a member, then there's one nominated by the mayor, approved by the council, and then there's one appointed by just the council.
yeah, I don't have that. So the 3 members right now, one, John Moise, is he eligible to run, to be
Yes.
appointed again?
Yes.
John Moise, okay, and the,
Vivian Smith is
Vivian.
eligible. Angela Hartsfield is not.
okay, and that's the mayor appointed, is Angela Hartsfield? Is that the one?
And you don't have to keep them in those spots, so don't worry about that part.
Okay,
The mayor could appoint Vivian Smith even if he didn't appoint her 2 years ago,
but we need to seek one more ethics board member.
and confirm with the others if.
People that still want to serve.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, we'll work on that this week.
Okay.
Thank you.
Because as you'll see in there too, that's got to be replaced by, I think it's May 1, April 30th, 2024. That's when their term expires.
Discuss council retreat. Jody?
Well, there's been moving parts to all of this for the last several weeks where I've been trying to locate a facility, which we think we've done. It's a location north of Dallas off of 61 near the reservoir. The county actually uses it for meetings that they hold from time to time. And they've consented to allow our use of it at no charge. So that's location.
We've got it booked for
Everybody's
April the
agreed with
20th.
that. You know, that's what I'm recommending. I've also had discussion with a gentleman that, I hope you don't mind me saying, Bob Tressel recommended to me, and I've had multiple conversations with him. He provided me with a bio, which I was going to pass this down, if you would. This is a short bio. His name's Rob Hosack. Former county manager for Cobb County. He's got a great deal of experience in local government, as well as being a certified planner. So there's a multitude of aspects that he would be able to look after and retreat. He's excited to provide this opportunity for us to utilize his services. The cost he has quoted me is $500 for that day, which would be April 20th from the hours of 9 a.m. to 4 p.m.
Okay. This is great that we have this information, although where is his certified training as a facilitator? We did say that we had Mr. Harrison offered to provide the facilitating for at no cost, location at no cost, food and beverage at no cost, and it was 20 minutes from here. However, it was a concern that he may or may not have the qualifications or criteria to facilitate. But after reaching out to GMA, and GMA, as we all know, Georgia Municipal Association provides training for over 570 cities. They said that the facilitator could be just the warm body in the building that can facilitate. There's no criteria, or no requirement for them to have certified training in facilitating. So as I'm thinking, as being a steward of our city's money, $500 versus nothing.
Well,
In my opinion, which I'll be happy to give, is if you have somebody with a breadth of experience in being a part of and leading local government, it provides insight for them to be able to look at what we're asking them to do to provide a positive environment for the retreat. Now again, this is a recommendation I received from one of the members of the council. I did pursue that. I know that others have reached out to other people, including members of GMA. If the council decides to go a different direction, we'll go a different direction.
I think we should focus on being cost effective. $500 may not be a lot, $250 was not a lot, or maybe a lot, so I think we should consider the dollars. Also, the fact that this gentleman, the recommendation that I made was to have, and I followed your recommendations, to reach out to the Northwest Region Commission. This is a appointee from the Lieutenant Governor with a business background, managing multi-million-dollar deals. So I would like to have that considered as well. Also, I shared in an email, no one responded. I called Vincent Institute, which is another one that you recommended. I reached out to them. We can earn 12 credits of learning 12 learning credits if we go with the call of Vincent Institute. So I don't know, nobody's responded, don't know if anybody's interested in a follow-up on that, but I do want us to consider the cost factor of this retreat.
the cost factor with GMA was $1,000 a day per instructor, and they wanted to have two. So it was $2,000 plus expenses.
Okay, that's not worth the 12 credits, for sure.
And secondly, this gentleman here has experience with government, local government, county government,
Okay.
but he's really not affiliated with the city of Hiram. I
Okay.
would much prefer that somebody that didn't have any interaction with the city
Okay,
could come in with a fresh set of eyes and a fresh overview
okay,
and sit down and listen to what we got to say and
I understand.
give us his words of wisdom.
Okay, understood.
And the county's offered us the facility at no cost.
That's good.
And this gentleman's offered his expertise at $500. I think it's a good deal all the way around.
Okay.
I have a question about the retreat. Will there be an agenda? Or
Yes.
there will be an agenda?
We've asked for input for what topics you would like to see
On
discussed.
that topic, if I may, I did, for those that did respond with suggestions for those topics, I did compile a list that I provided to Mr. Kosak, just so that he would understand kind of where the council's mind was. There were multiple suggestions that were repetitive among the council members. I did prioritize them or show those as being each, we had several people ask this particular topic, and then basically just from there give a descending order list. And what I'll do is, I'm supposed to speak with him again Thursday. I will, at that time, just confirm that he's got an understanding of that list, and then I'll send that out to you. And of course, if there are any edits or suggested edits, changes, or whatever, you can respond back to me with that. But I have compiled that list.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Any other questions? Discuss hotel motel excise tax disbursement.
Before I put my 2 cents, I'd like to get a consensus of whether or not we will continue partnership with Hiram Hospitality. Let's start there.
Let's start from a different
No?
place.
Okay, sorry.
Let's
Okay.
start from a different place. I've been on this council for 8 years, going on 9. Derek's been around a long time. You can tell by the gray in his beard. Every year, for the past 8 years, this has always been an argumentative discussion. There's always someone on the council that has some beef about the way the money's being spent. There was a personality thing, they didn't like what was going on. And we spent an inordinate amount of time discussing this. So, my thought is that we cut back, so we do a 5% collection on hotel motel money. That we go back to 3%, which the city keeps all the money, and we don't have to go out and find somebody to disperse the other 2% to. It's just my thought.
With all due respect, as a business approach, I don't want to give up $93,928.56, which would be pretty much roughly what we would collect next year. I don't believe as a business owner, to leave any money on the table. I do see the benefits that we have, and we do not have to search, but not too far. We do have an established 501c6 that qualifies.
They're not established right now.
Are you not established, your paperwork? Okay, so until then, we do have a time frame of June. Is it June, sir?
May or June.
Is it June? Okay, so it has, those funds have, it needs to be approved by June. So we have several months ahead where we can continue working towards that. But I don't think it's in our best interest to give up any money, especially considering we don't have a property tax. This is a good source of money to promote our city.
We're not giving up any money. We collect the money from the hotel rooms. Okay. That goes to the state, that comes to us. If we go back to the 3%, the hotels will not charge their guests the other 2% of the money. So all they're charging is the 3% that comes directly to the city, which is the same money that we get now. And it goes into our general fund for our discretion.
Okay, so our operating budget would not be affected because we're going to continue receiving the same portion of our 3%. However, great for the guests that come into the city of Hiram to be, they'll only incur 3%. However, that 2% of close to $100,000 helps us promote our city. It gives us ways to help with our branding, bringing people that would spend money, people coming over crossing county lines, as what they did with the Old Town Hiram Day. I don't think this is in our best interest to do that. If we do not have a viable option or an association that meets the criteria, then I understand we've exhausted our efforts. But at this time, I don't think we've exhausted our efforts, and I understand that the money that was collected within this fiscal year, which ends in June, as long as we have that process met, that timeline met by June, that we can move forward and have what they presented. I like what they presented. I think it's a great idea to do something that's going to help our businesses, because in essence, when you guys make more money, we make more money. And it's not just a money thing, you're bringing the community together. So it benefits, it's a benefit to all. I don't understand why we would ever leave any money on the table.
We're not leaving money on the table.
And it's not our money.
No, it's not our money, but guess what?
We're not leaving it on the table.
Okay, so we're not, how can I say it differently? The money that we would allow the state to keep,
They're not keeping it. They will not collect it.
they will not, all right, it will not be collected. So if we go to a 3%, that close to $100,000 will not be collected. So the opportunity of it being collected is only if we stay at 5%. So not collecting it, we don't have the opportunity to disperse that money. And if we don't disperse that money, we would have to promote our city with our general operating funds.
Correct.
And we
Which we do now.
Which we do now. However, if we wanted to put on a function, we have a total of two events per year, I believe. Correct me if I'm wrong, anybody. Do we have more than two community
You're gonna
events?
have 3 if you do New Year's.
We have 3. Okay. Our neighboring city, which I've been learning so much from, they have a host of things because they are operating with, of course, property tax. But this money that we can keep, not keep, it's earmarked for a nonprofit, that would help us promote tourism. That helps bring people to our city. That helps generate taxes that we use towards our general funds. I don't think it's a good idea. But
Okay, thank you. Derek, you got any questions?
No, sir.
Bob?
No.
Okay, thank you.
One thing that I would just like to point back at is that we ended the agreement with the Chamber of Commerce at the end of the calendar year. There is still the question of money we will be collecting for the remainder of this fiscal year leading up to June 30th. That is currently not designated to an appropriate 501(c)(6). So that question still needs to be answered as well. So not to complicate the matter that I think I just did, I just wanted to point that out, that we still are going to have a collection of that 2% that you're talking about. And a portion of that, half, essentially, needs to find a home. Or we need to be looking at another solution under the guidelines of hotel motel. That, and I'm not certain what that answer would be at this time.
We have a little time before we make that decision, correct?
We will have another collection at the end of March that will take place, it takes place after the end of March. We will see, we'll start collecting that in the first part of April for this past quarter.
So one day this week, because it's the end of March, right?
Well, we end March as of this weekend. And then sometime next week or the following week, we'll receive the proceeds off of the tax
Okay.
collection. So yes, you do have some time, but it is shortly.
Okay,
Okay.
thank you,
who's going to
Jerry.
find out the options of how that money can be spent?
I'll try my best to find what we can do, what the options for you are.
And by default, does it go to any association?
No.
No.
Right now, it has no designation. It would just be money held until we can find an appropriate recipient.
Okay, and if we don't find an appropriate recipient, does it go back to the state if we don't have any other options?
That's a good question. I'm not certain.
We'll have to find that out.
Okay.
Chief, discuss the false alarm ordinance.
Mr. Mayor, ladies and gentlemen, thank you. I'm sorry I have to bring this forward, but we've got a problem. Last year, in the calendar year, there were 659 false alarms in the city of Hiram. These are alarms that were activated for no purpose. These are not ones that went off during storm. These were just either by negligence or, in some cases, forgetting to lock the front doors of your store, and the door opens up and the alarm goes off. What's the impact? The impact is, and I'm being very flexible here, let's say it takes us 10 minutes to respond to that false alarm. That means that on an average year, we're losing about 6,590 minutes, which equates to 109 hours or 2.74 weeks of work time on the part of the police department answering these calls. If you look at the base salary for a police officer, $26 an hour, and then add their benefits and costs, it brings it up to $36.92 per hour. When you look at that time that they've spent, the city paid $4,054 last year responding to false alarm calls. That's just in salary. Then you need to add another $496 for the use of the motor vehicle and fuel at $698. So in all, the city's out $5,101 for answering false alarms. So what we're trying to do is put in an alarm ordinance. It starts off with education and registration. It is free to register your alarm. At that point, we give you an individual code. Once you have your first 3 alarms, which are all given free, you'll receive a warning on the 3rd alarm that any subsequent alarm will actually cost you beginning with that alarm. We're giving people time to try to fix their alarms, and also giving the alarm companies specific alarm panels that they have to use, that are industry standard alarm panels that must be used by businesses to make sure that we can knock down these false alarms. The first false alarm is $50 per business, and then it goes up, or business or residence. Then it goes up to $75 for the second false alarm. Then after that, $150, and then finally to $250 where it is capped for $250 and then resets itself at the beginning of the next year when people re-register their alarm, which is again free of charge, but it is mandatory that they re-register their alarm so that we know that the alarm is still active. This will be handled by the police department with our internal personnel that we have already. But again, we're having to take measures to stop false alarm from. Any questions I can answer?
So how many cities else does that type of false alarm? City of Dallas, Powder Springs, and all those have?
Almost all of the surrounding jurisdictions have a false alarm ordinance, and most of them are a little more draconian than ours are.
So you think our prices, because I think that's a little steep.
Actually, I don't think so, because we have to get people's attention. Remember, when I gave you that price, that's for a beginning patrol officer. Every time those alarms go off, that's not a beginning patrol officer that's answering, and most of the time it's 2 officers. And that's taking time away from other calls. So, and we're trying to encourage, for example, we have one business this weekend, we were at their business 5 times for false alarms.
I understand something being excessive, but that $50, that's cheaper than our speeding tickets, right? $50 for the
Our
shit.
speeding tickets are much more.
I ain't had one about 40 years. So let me just hang on. But, and the reason I'm saying that, because at my mom's house, it was a false alarm. And she told them, no, it's nothing. But, you know, just give credit to our fine police officers that came out there anyway, just to double check.
And we will continue to do
Yeah.
that. And again, we're going to give relief if there's a storm in the area, those kind of natural disasters that are going to interfere with alarms.
Yeah.
We're not going to bill people for those.
Like a tree fall down and hit something that shakes
Right.
the house. It was
But
loud boom.
what we can't have is we have a couple of businesses here that we've gone to and said, please fix your alarm. They just laugh at us and go, it doesn't matter, you're going to come out there. We've got to stop that attitude.
No, Derek, most cities around the country have gone to this type of an ordinance because these alarms are very time consuming.
Ms. Carroll, I'm sorry.
I'm sorry, I just want to clarify, so the ordinance, it would affect both businesses and residents?
Yes, ma'am. The only person that would be excluded would be government entities.
Chief, have you looked at a breakdown from commercial properties to residential properties?
A majority of ours are commercial,
Okay.
and it's large commercial ventures.
Any other questions? New business. Melissa, consent agenda?
For the Board of Ethics, I put new business, but I'll definitely need your input on that during this week. Oh, actually, you have like a week and a half, because don't forget, we're not meeting next week since it's spring break. You guys chose April 9th, so you've got a little bit of extra time now. So that'll be new business. Council retreat, new business as well. Hotel motel, I put as the next work session discussion. And the false alarm, I feel like that could be consent, but it would be the only item on consent, so I'll just put it on new business.
Okay, thank you. Speaking of new business, may I have a motion on item number 6?
Do you want to do 5?
Yeah?
Oh, mine is different than yours.
New business, the motion is to authorize Hiram Rosenwald to utilize Grays Mill Park on June 15, 2024, to hold a Juneteenth festival.
Second.
Somebody got to make that one.
So, you want to make that?
You make the motion.
All right. So I'll make a motion.
Good.
Sorry, okay, motion to authorize Hiram Rosenwald to utilize Gray Mills Park on June 15, 2024, to hold a Juneteenth festival.
I'll second.
Questions? All in favor? Opposed? Item carries. May I have a motion on item number 8? To authorize the Hiram Police Department's Pastors Alliance to utilize Grays Mill Park softball field on April 20, 2024, beginning at 12 p.m. for a community softball game with proceeds benefiting Paulding United Food Bank. Somebody want to make that motion?
Sure, I make the motion to authorize the Hiram Police Department's Pastors Alliance to utilize Grays Mill Park softball fields on April 20th, 2024, beginning at 12 p.m., with proceeds benefiting the Paulding United Food Bank.
I'll second.
Questions? All in favor? Opposed? Okay. Comments, regular session will be April the 9th, 6 p.m. here in the Municipal Annex. Melissa Byardell was given the Horizon Award by the Paulding County Chamber at the gala last Saturday night. Bob, you got any announcements?
No.
Tiffany?
No announcements, but I wanted to ask a question, and I apologize, I should have asked it earlier of Tyrone. Is it okay? Tyrone, I was just wondering, would you all be able to submit, and I apologize if it's a part of the process, I just wanted for my clarification, would the association be able to submit a budget prior to entering into a new agreement with the city?
As far as a budget for the events that we're planning on,
Yes.
we can put one together. We can put that together as soon as we finish our incorporation process.
Yeah, they have to get their C6 going first.
That would also be determined on the amounts of money, whether or not we're going into partnership with new entities or terminating with old other entities. So I don't know how they would be able to provide a budget unless we know where we stand with the other ones.
Well,
How
they
does that-
won't, she's just asking that question.
Yeah.
And they can do that. If we move forward with them, they can do that. That was the question.
I understand the question, sir. What I'm saying is, I'm sorry.
Yeah,
I think he had a really good presentation, and I remember when they had this before, it really livened things up around here. And you mentioned before, there was like, you spent a lot of time kind of arguing, disagreeing, personality clashes and stuff. This is, I mean, this city council now is a lot different than the city council. And I really think we should seriously consider what they're willing to do.
we're,
What they're willing to do. And now, when these people are doing this, this is their own free time. They're not getting paid for this. And if they're willing to do all this, I really think we should seriously consider it.
we are considering it. Thank you for your input. Okay, Melissa, do you have anything?
I'm sorry. Thank you, Tyrone Griffin, for the presentation. Thank you for those of you who came to join us to be part of the process. Thank you, Ms. Hannah, for joining us and being a youth and so involved already with local government. But yes, we will consider that. We'll do what's in the best interest of our city.
I hope so. I think it's fun. We need some fun around it. And they had a lot of people. Every event that I went to that they did, there was a lot. You got it.
Not allowed that.
Old Town Hall.
I heard it's not allowed. Nothing.
Well, the businesses
You either.
I'm sure council will take into consideration, as we did with EDO and other entities, and know what's best for for our city and what the return of investment will be. So we will definitely take all of those factors into consideration, do what's best for our city.
That one more thing. My neighbor is here, did he say something or ask something about our
Mr. Jody, I'm
little
sorry.
area that they've been working on for almost a year and a half now?
Well, I know it's been fun down there, and they're working on it. We've just got some things on my property, some property down like we're gonna discuss. While I'm finishing fixing up.
I think Mr. Palmer's been down there and talking with you folks about finishing up minor
I
projects.
haven't got a list, a little bit of Clifford, but nobody's come down really. They're supposed to come down last week, nobody has seen me. I'd like to talk a little more on stuff.
Would it be possible for you guys to connect after the meeting is adjourned?
Yeah,
Okay.
all right, very good.
I got one more question I was willing to ask. Has anybody ever thought about trying to get some quiet zones for the train down here and over there? And I don't know if there's any more over there.
He's been trying.
We have looked into that. The city of Dallas is going through that process now, and it's costing them in excess of $100,000. Norfolk Southern will not enter into any discussions with the city until you pay it's so much per crossing. They want their money up front, and then the city is also responsible to reconfigure each crossing to make it safety, double rail safety things, so that they can do a quiet zone. It's very, it's,
Every time I come to a festival down here, it's like you're talking, and I live down here too.
it's a very long and expensive process to go through. We're waiting for Dallas to get through with theirs and see how that works for them.
Powder Springs already has all their stuff.
Yeah.
They've been had that done years, so that quiet zone, yeah. It wasn't that expensive when they done it.
We haven't waited.
Killer now. Derek, you got anything? No. Chief, Leo, either one?
Yes, sir.
I do. There you go. If you would take one and pass it down, this is not really a discussion item, it's just part of the budget process. This is setting up the dates so that you understand what the budget calendar is, how it's set up for this year. Also, it sets aside one Saturday for us to have a budget meeting. So that is on there. Just wanted you to have this going into the process.
Thank you very much.
Thanks, Jerry.
And that's all I have.
Okay, can I have a motion on item number 9?
I make a motion to adjourn the work session.
I'll second.
Discussion, all in favor? Good night.
Good night, everybody.